Hi, hallo, baie welkom.
Dankie.
We've spoken about you being a leader in the field, and obviously your children, Elon, Kimbal and Tosca, they're all also leaders in whatever they are doing. So what do you think makes a good leader, and how did you raise these good leaders?
Well, as you notice, I was a leader in my profession because
Yes,
I just led everybody,
yeah.
and I worked very hard, and I taught them to be independent, and they had to do their own homework. I never checked it, and they had to clean up after themselves, and I just didn't have time for pampering them, and I certainly couldn't afford to take them out for dinner or go to the movies. So it's they never complained. They never thought, when I was at Universitas Hospital in Bloemfontein, the university was kind enough to give me a doctor's apartment, which is a small one-bedroom apartment. And so my kids slept in the bedroom and I slept in the living room, which was also the kitchen. And we were there for a year. I mean, because I was doing then I did my hospital internship at 32 because I had never done it and I wanted to do more therapeutic diets in my practice. And I'd also gone through a horrible relationship surprise when your fiance gets somebody else pregnant. Yes. So, and moves in next door to you. So that, I was very sad. So that's why I moved to Bloemfontein from Durban. And it started all over. They had to go by bike to school. I got secondhand school uniforms. We ate at the hospital. They were completely independent because I was in the hospital from 8 in the morning till 5. So they had to look after themselves when they got back.
So do you think that parenting style really helped make them that independent? And then also, do you think maybe parents nowadays are too involved in their children's lives?
Well, I know my parents worked from 7:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. So I never saw them in the day either. And so we were completely independent. We were 5 kids, completely independent as well. So obviously it works because all my brothers and sisters and I, we're all very successful, and my children are.
Okay, that's a very good example of
Yes, yes.
how it works in multiple generations.
And even if they came to me and they said, Mom, can we do this? Or can you, I know they've said that they would ask me to, can they have ice cream or something? And I say, I don't remember them asking because I would ignore it. That's not what they have at home. I can't afford that. You have your Raisin Bran and your milk and your banana. You know.
Why more?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't even angry. I just was, that's not important in life. Yeah. Yeah. Ek was nie kwaai nie. Gelukkig.
And then near the end of your book, you say that in life, it's all about hard work and optimism and common sense and making a plan. But it didn't always go easy for you. So what's your secret to being so resilient and so optimistic?
Well, I wanted my book to be called Struggles and Survival. Actually, Elon, Kimbal and Tosca, they said to me, now you talk about your struggles because people see you on Instagram and they think you're perfect. We know what you've been through. So, I did talk about my struggles in my book. And then I said to the publisher, the editor at the publisher, I said, I think we should take out the sad parts of my life. And they said, no, we need to keep that in. So the thing is, you're just trying to survive. It's not like, I was trying to be luxurious or rich or successful, like being a goddess, which I am now.
Definitely.
At long last, but that wasn't my aim. My aim was just to be able to survive, but I also love my work. I love being a dietitian, and now modeling is big. Well, modeling has always been fun.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you had a good purpose, and that sort of purpose, yes, made you that resilience.
Right, yes. I had to survive, pay the rent, yeah.
So you also say in the book, live dangerously, carefully, and family first. Those are the 2 mottos that you learned from your parents. But what do you think, Elon and Tosca and Kimbal, what mottos would they recite from, learning from you?
Oh, well, Tosca sometimes says on a post or something, that I've been her pillar of strength and guided her all along. And Kimbal will always say I inspired him with Big Green. And Elon is beyond. He's he will retweet how he loves me. I always support him. I go to his launches. I go to car launches and Tesla launches and space launches, and he always loves me to be there. Yeah, so we all support each other and we laugh a lot together.
But there isn't like a motto that you always said in the house that you can think of right now.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, a boermaker plan is certainly one.
Definitely.
And that's where the book comes from, a boermaker plan. And people say, oh, so you have to plan your life. I say, no, a boermaker plan means if things go wrong, a boermaker plan. A farmer always has to make a plan.
Yeah.
And my parents liked it because my dad was a farmer in Saskatchewan, in Western Canada. And he said that's like gambling because you everything's dependent on weather and bugs and all this, and so you have to make a plan all the time to make a change. So they even learned the phrase a boermaker plan. Yeah,
that's always good to remember that we can make a plan.
Yeah, you have to make, if things are not going right, you have to make a plan, and it's not easy. You don't always see how to get out of an unhappy situation. Like unhappy from work or from relationships. You need to get away from unhappy situations because you have your whole life.
That's good advice. And then also, is there something specifically that you learned from your children?
I'm just very proud of them. I just think I'm just happy they followed whatever they wanted to do, because Kimbal studied business and now he's doing farm to table restaurants and the vegetable gardens in schools. Tosca studied film. We wanted her to be a lawyer, but she studied film instead. And now she makes movies, and I'm so proud of her because it's on passionflix.com, and you can see romance movies where the women are strong and they're not abused, they're intelligent, they're confident, and female directors make the movies, and the men and women get the leads get the same salary. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I'm very proud of her about that. And then, of course, Elon is saving this planet and going to others.
I see that your background is like a Mars background, because you see the Earth in the background.
I just thought, why not?
Fun.
There's a big SpaceX launch this week. Why not? Yeah.
Amazing. So also reading your book, it also sounds like your mom was also a really strong woman and a very industrious woman. So can you talk a bit more about the role she played in your life, shaping who you are today?
Well, now we look back at what my mom did. We are blown away that she did it with such calm, kindness, and thoughtfulness, and she did incredible things. We went across the Kalahari Desert with a compass, all right, and 3 weeks supply of water, petrol, and food, and 5 kids in the back of the truck. And then we would go until near sunset. We would unpack everything. We would sleep on the ground. My mom would not only make the most delicious stew with meat and dumplings, but she would also bake scones, and we would just we would go get the dry wood to come in so she could light the fire. I mean, so then we would have a nice dinner at night, and then the next morning we would wake up at 5 a.m. because we would, we traveled in the daylight. Because there was no light. But to go across, to plan for 5 kids, to go with your 5 kids into the desert for 3 weeks, can you imagine how brave that is? And then she also was the navigator for my dad, and they flew up Africa, across Arabia and Asia, across the sea to Australia and back. I mean, why would anyone do that? I wouldn't do that. So she said, well, he would go alone and then it wouldn't be safe. So she had to go with him. Can you imagine doing that? I mean, in a single engine plane without a radio, no GPS.
Ja, dit klink of hulle nie 'n bang haar op hulle kop gehad het nie. Hulle klink
Ja.
So they really sound gutsy and amazing.
She was so gutsy, and we didn't realize just how gutsy she was.
I think only when you're older you see all the things parents did.
And then when I got divorced, my ex-husband kept me in lawsuits for 11 years until I left for Canada. Then he can't sue me. But my mom would then drive to Durban or to Bloemfontein, depending where the lawsuit was, and come to, always join me for my court cases, court appearances. And when you think of it, that was a long drive for her to do in her, 70s, 60s, and 70s.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That she was always there for you.
Always supportive when we needed her, yeah.
In your book, you give women advice on how to be fascinating.
Yes.
Sometimes we feel very dull and boring and stuck in a rut. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Oh,
yeah. You first of all, you always have to have a smile. Just like you've got a lovely smile. And you have to be interested in other people as well. And you have to have some interests that you can share with people, because if you sit and wallow in your misery and you just complain, well, you're just not pleasant to have around. So we need to be more outgoing. I would say dietitians are not outgoing among ourselves. We talk like crazy because we love nutrition research. We enjoy each other's company, but we're quite shy in other situations. It's when I've moved, I've started my practice in 8 cities, and I've had to do social events too. And it's stressful to go to a social event where you don't know anyone in the city or the country, and you have no one to talk to, and you just have to stand around there. And I find it very stressful. But over time, I've learned you just have to do that until there's somebody you can talk to, and then you can slowly start meeting people, because otherwise you're just stuck. You're sitting at home, you get nothing done.
We will try and get out more and talk to more people, and try and find
share your wonderful knowledge. We studied so hard. You share your beautiful knowledge.
And then looking back to your 18-year-old self to now you're 72, what are you most proud of achieving in your life? I mean, that's so amazing. Yeah.
I think my 3 kids I'm so proud of them. They're my biggest achievements. Yeah.
You did a good job there.
Yeah, thanks.
And then, do you have any regrets?
The regrets are in my book, in that I stayed in bad situations too long. Because you think you can change somebody, or you can change the situation, and you can't. And you try, and you're hoping somebody else will change, and they don't. But I think if I saw the red flags, but I would stick into it, and people would lie to me, and I kind of knew it was a lie, but you didn't want to confront them, so then you suffer. So suffer less. Let's suffer less. Yes. I wish I'd suffered less.
That's very good advice.
Yes.
Maye, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. You're really inspirational, and you have such good energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.